I got a chapter of your book open up here talking about your service as an infantryman in the U.S. Army. You know what? I had a U.S. military gentleman launching his online agency come on, told us
Mm.
a little bit about his experience. If it's something you're willing to share, what the Army give you. How long did you spend in the Army?
I spent about 4 years, and one of those was deployed to Afghanistan. So, short story was on the 25th of August, 2011, one of my buddies, we actually went to basic training together. His convoy was ambushed. He was in a different platoon from me. So, he died. He was killed in action, was a command pulled IED. And then my platoon, we won QRF that day. And then obviously the call, and then we got to the spot where, the event happened.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Side Hustle podcast. I'm here with Sam Ayeni that I had the pleasure of meeting down in San Diego. Otherwise, we would never have met. We crossed paths because he's one of the latest co-authors with Cracking the Business Mastery Code with Brian Tracy. Sam has transitioned his career now into a side hustle. And you can see the equation up on the screen there above his head. We're going to get into that a little bit later. So, Sam, welcome. Welcome on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Albert Stone, Mr. Taxes Canada. I'm really honored and privileged to be on this show with you. Thank you for having me. We're going to have a lot of fun here today.
Oh yeah, we're gonna light it up like a Christmas tree. It's that time of year. So
Yeah.
yeah, our podcast here, we love bringing on side hustlers, and meeting you down at the event in San Diego where you were launching your book was amazing experience. Got to meet a lot of amazing people, you being one of them. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with the book, a little bit about your business, and we'll go back into the history of Sam. So, how did you get involved with the book, and what has it brought you so far? What kind of experience has it been being a publisher?
Well, actually, that's a very good and great question, Robert. I have been writing for a while. Actually, if you ask my kids, and my wife, they will tell you like I've been writing for a while. So I've had this goal of publishing a book, but I just didn't know really how to go about it. So I hired a ghostwriting company. And then I write what I have written and sent to them. And then they just like do all different kind of things in the book that they will say back to me like, okay, you know what? I think I've got to do this myself because they're not getting the idea of what I'm putting together. So, I've been trying to, working on building my company, which is a better outcome, to help people get a better outcome in every area of life, be it wealth, be it relationship, be it health. And I was researching one day and I came about like Brian Tracy is actually looking for co-authors, like opportunity to co-author with him. Like, wow, what a great product. So I immediately just like send in my application. Obviously, they get thousands of applications every year. And I was just looking on my email or phone call, someone's gonna call me, and then I just get an email that, hey, schedule an appointment. I was like, what? This is happening. And then I schedule an appointment, talk to one of the guys, and then I get to talk to Medhat. And then he told me that, hey, well, actually, there is really no more slot open, but maybe next time. So I'm like, no, you gotta make a. He said, oh, we already actually getting towards publishing. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna have to make this happen. And then he said, okay, let's start next week and see what happened. And then the following time I was talking to him, schedule another appointment with him, and then he said, hey, you know what? A lady just dropped off because she's pregnant and she doesn't have the capacity to do it right now. So if you're ready, we can go. I was like, yes, sign me up. And that is how we made this happen. And it was a great honor. I've been reading Brian Tracy's books for a very long time. It's great, really a great honor to be his protege, and to be able to co-author a book with him, as well as others.
That's amazing. She gave up her opportunity. I've heard of farm women in different countries, Africa included, giving birth on the farm, and then they get up and go back to work, working the fields. So
Right.
she missed out. You captured that opportunity.
Hey,
Not to push anybody out of their opportunity, but that person gave up their opportunity. I got a chapter of your book open up here, talking about your service as an infantryman in the U.S. Army. You know what? I had a U.S. military gentleman launching his online agency come on, told
mm.
us a little bit about his experience. If it's something you're willing to share, what did the Army give you? How long did you spend in the Army?
I spent about 4 years, and one of those was deployed to Afghanistan. And part actually of this equation of life, I would say that I actually discovered it in combat in Afghanistan. So short story. So part of the equation is S squared, right? Which is spiritual and subconscious. So the spiritual part of it, I found out about it in Afghanistan. So short story was on the 25th of August, 2011, one of my buddies, we actually went to basic training together. Um, his convoy was ambushed. He was in a different platoon from me. So he died. He was killed in action. It was a command pulled IED, you know. So, and then my platoon, we won QRF that day. And then obviously the call, and then we got to the spot where, the event happened. So my commanding officer was really pissed because what happened was we traced the wire. So what a command pull is that a IED is put it down the wall or is uncovered. In this case, was under a covert, which is a bridge on the road. So they then now tie a long wire to it back to the village. Okay. So when the vehicle get on the cover, they just yanked it. And then the vehicle, automatically somersault. And then that is how my friend was killed. So my commanding officer was really pissed. So that the wire came from the nearby village. So he just called on the mortars guy. This is 120 rounds of weapon. And just barrage of 120 rounds of mortars to this village, and then it was, I would say, about 12 or 15. Well, that is considered excessive force. So he was called, my commanding officer was called to the HQ to come and give an account. Honestly, don't know how many people got killed that day in that village. I don't know. But again, was considered excessive force. So he was called to the HQ to come and give account of really what happened. So this was now on the 28th, so 3 days later, which was on a Sunday. Okay. So we were now going to, I was now part of the convoy. Actually, I was driving the commanding officer's striker. All right. And then we were going. However, as we left our fob, we came in contact with our first covert, first bridge, right? And now you can ask anyone, I know you in Canada, you can ask anyone in the US Army or Canadian Army for that matter. Actually, we replaced Canadian Army. They left the fob that we took over when they were done with their deployments. So got to meet some Canadian guys in Afghanistan. But anyway, so if you ask anyone who's ever been in the Canadian Army, all right, since you're in Canada and ever been deployed to Afghanistan, they will tell you this. The very first training you get in theater is IED training. And the IED training, the very first thing they tell you is no matter what happens, do not ever looking under a covert or a bridge for an IED. That's like the very first thing everyone starts. So if you're going, driving, and then you come in contact with a bridge, just drive over it. Do not try to figure out if there is anything under it or not. So, but because of what happened 3 days prior, my commander was like, we are checking every bridge on our way to the HQ file, you know? And then I was like, sir, I don't think this is a smart idea. He just told me to be quiet. Obviously, he ranked me. And there is 6 Romeo, which is one of my buddies. Every one of us, on the radio talking and chit-chatting, make fun of me, and call me some names. I call him names. He's of Jewish he's of Jewish
Descent.
background, descent, and I mean Africa, obviously. So we call ourselves names. I mean, what different humans do. So we making fun of me, and then the commander said, "Hey, six, dismount, and we're gonna go and check this covered, to see if there's ID on it." Bad idea, man. As they dismounted, in the corner of my eye, while they were just looking to go and check under the covert, an IED just came from like the 3 o'clock, no, 9 o'clock, and then boom, my friend was on the ground. We all rushed out and then got him into the striker, the back of the striker, turned around, drove back to the fob. And then my friend was there lifeless. So the point of this story is this is how I discovered actually my spiritual identity. I asked myself, what just happened? I was talking to this guy just 2, 3 minutes ago, but now I can't have conversation with him anymore. But he's still here. His body is here. His brain is definitely still in his skull, but I can't have conversation with him anymore. And I said to myself, we are not human. We are not human. Because the humanity, his body was still there in front of me. I was weeping, obviously. His brain was still there, but what powers the brain and the body to function was gone. I just was saying to myself, we have to be spirits. We cannot be human at all. So this was unfortunately the event that caused me to actually discover my spiritual identity.
Deepak Chopra talks about that. He talks about a spiritual being inside a human body, or is it the human body encompassing a spiritual being? Which one is it? And that is a deep, deep question, which is part of your formula, which I can't wait to get into. So, um, paying respects to your colleagues in the Army and to all servicemen around the world that serve in armies around the world. Our hearts go out to everybody, and we're grateful for the service. I have friends here in the Canadian Army, and I'm going to make sure and ask them that question and ask them to watch this podcast or watch or listen to the podcast and listen to your message, Sam, because it's a very deep message. So before the Army, how did you get into the Army? I know it's a requirement in the US, at a certain age, et cetera, that you're either drafted or you're volunteer to go in. But, before the Army, what were you doing in school? Were you playing sports? I know you played a bit of football. What
Yeah,
happened, before, and maybe go back a little further, how you got to Canada from Nigeria?
Canada, no, the US.
Oh, sorry, US yeah. So used to having our Canadian colleagues on. So you went directly to the US, but yeah, give us a little history on that.
Okay, all right. So we have to go a little bit way back to how before getting there. So I was born and raised in a village, southwest village in Nigeria. And really plagued with abject poverty. By age 5, I had learned how to fast and pray till 6 p.m. And that is without water or food, by the way, like till 6 p.m. And I could do that by age 5. And you could think that that is like a spiritual, discipline that the parents were trying to instill in me. Obviously, that was part of it, as well as with my siblings. However, it was also a survival mechanism because, again, we, we were poor. And then also wearing hand-me-down clothes from cousins, because again, our parents couldn't afford to really buy us clothes. It wasn't even after my dad passed a few years ago that I found out how much he was earning, and like, yeah, there was no way he could have been able to properly feed us or to buy or buy clothes or shoes. So running around hand me down clothes, walking around barefooted. Elementary school was ridiculous. We just go there to go and play soccer because teachers goes months without getting paid, you know. So that was really my background. I mean, 4 a.m. in the morning, we go to the stream to go and fetch water. And we'll go there with kerosene powered lantern, in the dark, and we'll go to the bush to go and fetch water like four in the morning, go to morning service at 5 o'clock. And then to wash clothes or anything that I do, we go to the river to go and do that. It's called Ocean River. I can never forget that. But anyways, fast forward to age 18. And then, actually, it was 17. I had one of my paternal uncles told me, no, actually came and told my parents that he had a dream. And the dream was that, hey, Sam is going places in life. And he had been instructed to, finance my way to whatever the dream he had, and my parents were so happy, like, hey, finally, someone is coming by to, offer some help. So, and then I went to my uncle to go and live with him in the city, in Abuja, which is the capital city of Nigeria. And this is not to disparage my uncle or to or to abuse him. This is normal. Okay. I became pretty much a houseboy in my uncle's house. And this is normal, really. Anyone who comes to the village to live in the city with any family member, like really, that's how you pay for having a roof over your head and getting food, I mean, getting fed and all of that. So that's really pretty much how you pay. So for the whole year, that's pretty much what I was doing, waiting for my high school results. Well, that came out. And lo and behold, it was a bunch of failures. I mean, I actually had F9 in English. I had pass in math. And then I think a couple other classes I had C. So, but that was not enough for me to get into college, right? But I could get to maybe a polytechnic, but not into university. So my uncle said, well, this result is not good enough. You're going to have to resit for another exam. Okay, that's going to be another year. Obviously, you're preparing for the exam. And then, like, all right, but I need a tutor. I've been out of school for a year now. I mean, that I was in school, I still failed this woefully, right? In order to resit, I'm going to need, assistance and help from tutors and if not teachers. My uncle said, well, you're smart enough, you can study on your own and sit for the exam and pass. However, while you're waiting for the time for you to sit for the exam to come, I've talked to a barber in the neighborhood that is you're gonna go and apprentice with them, and start learning how to cut hair. In the morning and then in the afternoon, you go and, hawk yogurt to ice to kids who are just coming out of school. So I'm like, huh, all right. I now as a 17, no, now at this time I was 18. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I was in school with teachers. I failed most of my classes. And now I need to resit for the same exam. You're telling me that I don't need a tutor. but now I need to go and learn how to cut hair and also to hawk yogurt. Like, all right, I don't think how this aligned at all, you know? So I said to him that this is not just going to work. And he said, no, well, you're going to do what I tell you to do because your parent already handed you over to me. So I said, sir, with all due respect, my parent already gave me over to you, but I'm taking myself back from you. So please give me transport money. I need to go back to my parent. And he said, no, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're going to do what I tell you to do. So I had to resort to threatening him. So I said, if you do not give me the transport money, I'm going to, one day you're going to come back from work and you'll find out your TV, your refrigerator is gone because I'm going to sell all of them. To raise transport money for myself to go back to my parent. So his wife, my auntie, like started, yeah, oh, so because your parents don't have TV or refrigerator, you're gonna sell our own stuff? Anyways, they took the threat really serious. So they gave me the transport money to go back to my parent. But he wrote me a letter to give to my dad. So in the letter, get to my dad was that he suggested that I learn to be a barber where I'm waiting to do my exam and stuff like that. And my dad said, yeah, I think your uncle had a good idea. What is wrong with being a barber? So I said, oh, so actually that is the plan is not for me to go to school, to go to college. The plan was for me to become a barber. And I said, no, I don't see a barber in my future. No, I'm not going to do that. And my father said, well, if you're not willing to do what you're told, then I'm disowning you. I said, oh, okay. If that's the case, thank you very much. Then I left home. My mom wept, obviously, because I'm the first son, and this is really not how things supposed to happen, right? So, anyways, I left home and then I went looking for my girlfriend I had at the time. And then I told her, she was already in college. I told her that, hey, I think you should break up with me. And she said, why? I said, well, I don't think I have a future. There's no point in you being with you know, someone who's not going anywhere in life. So when you're already in college, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. My parents, my father already disowned me, so I think we should break up. So I told her the story, and she said no, no, that she won't break up with me. She will stay with me. And at that point, I actually cried and I wept that she was willing to take a chance on me, even though we were both teenagers. And I was trying to force her hand, to to jilt me, so to speak. But then she said no, she would stay with me. And I said to her at that moment that if you stay with me and go with both of us, we will fulfill destiny together. And I'm glad to tell you we've been together over 25 years. That like actually gave me the foundation of, all right, if I have someone who's depending on me, I need to go and figure out my life. So
That
that
was
was
that's where the entrepreneur was born. I was going to say maybe your uncle forcing your hand, saying you're going to be a barber. But that reminded me of a story I heard about JFK when they first decided to put a man on the moon, and they built NASA, and they were going for a tour through NASA with the presidential entourage, and they stopped, and there was a janitor there, and he was sweeping, he was sweeping or mopping the floor. I forget the story 100%, but the president then, JFK, stopped and asked him, "Excuse me, sir, I'm the president." And he says, "So happy to meet you, Mr. President." And then JFK asked him, he said, "What is your role here at NASA?" And the gentleman said, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." Right. But it reminds me of the entrepreneurial journey where you either help somebody else build their dream of being a barber shop, or pursuing your own dream. Spend the rest of your life helping somebody pursue their dream, or go out on your own. And here you are, you published with Brian Tracy. You launched A Better Outcome, which is the website, abetteroutcome.com. We'll put the link in below here. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, somewhere around the video, you'll find all Sam's links. So that brings you up to today, the great story, Sam. I think our past helps build who we are today. But meeting you, I actually have a photo of it, and we'll get that somewhere around the video here. If you're watching on Spotify, we'll put it a link in the bio section. You sketched out your formula for me and you explained it in San Diego. And it was riveting because I'm a math guy, I'm a numbers guy. And I've got a few formulas myself, different ones for some are humorous, for fun, but some of them are actual formulas we use in day-to-day business. But yours is a formula for life. And it was
Yes,
pretty
it is.
powerful and riveting. So it's been up behind you. And I'm sure people are asking if you're listening on Spotify, make sure and click the links because you'll get a copy of the formula. So read it out for those that are listening in audio, Sam, and then give us the explanation of the formula.
Okay, so the formula is Oscar equals Sierra Square Charlie India multiplied by Alpha Romeo. That's some military jargons there, how we say
And
it.
trademark pending. And trademark pending. That's a TM
Yes,
is not part of
yes.
the formula. That's for proprietary rights because we're going to lay it down here in the public domain that this is Sam's formula.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. All right. So this formula actually was born out of desperation with the story that I told, right? And then I left my girlfriend then to, after meeting with her and decided, you know what, I need to figure out a better outcome for my life because the outcome I had at the time is not what I wanted. So the only thing I knew how to do then was just like throw myself into dry fasting, and that is no water, no food. So I was doing that day one. I will eat, and this is what I promised myself. I find out how to get a better outcome for my life, or I die trying. Right? So I was prepared to do that. So no food, no water, day one, day two, day three. If you've ever done this, you'll know it is extremely hard to do to go without food or water for days. Food, maybe you can do, water, it's harder because your entire body system actually is complaining, right, about what's going on. So by eighth day of no water, no food, my body obviously I was weeping. I was praying and weeping, but there were no tears coming out of my eyes because I was obviously dehydrated. And that was like, they're like, God, help me. I need to, how do I move forward in life? I really have no one, except at that time was my girlfriend. And I had no books to read, right? And the only thing I had was a old King James Bible. And he was just lying there beside me. And then it was already open to a page. And I was there like half awake, half passed out with my eyes shut. And then my eyes just glanced on a verse. And the verse says, why do you look at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen? For the things which are seen are temporary, but things which are not seen are eternal. I suddenly regained strength just reading that statement. Like, what? That the outcome I was experiencing is based on really what is my focused attention and what I'm repeatedly doing and my identity. What do I identify? Like, really? This is it. I mean, like, really, from that moment, my life changed because now I know what to do to get the outcome that I wanted. I don't have to wait for God to answer my prayer anymore because He already did. So I only need to actually do or what I need to do in order for me to get the outcome. So again, the formula is O Oscar, which stands for outcome. So this is what you're looking for in life. All right. And there are only three areas, regardless of whatever you are looking for in life. Is it that you're looking for more money, or you are looking for a better health, or you're looking for a better relationship? That's it. All the product and services in the world is actually catered to those three areas. Either more money, or health or relationship. That's it. So for me, the outcome I was looking for is obviously for wealth, which is ability to, go to school, get the degree, and being able to, earn income for myself, for my family, and generation unborn. So the very first step is to go to college. So I started applying this. All right. So outcome now equals what? S squared. That is spiritual and subconscious identity. And the C stands for conscious identity. So who are you? Spiritually, who are you? Subconsciously, who are you? And consciously, who are you? Who do you identify yourself as? And then on top of that is who do you want to become? What identity do you want to actually identify yourself with? And on the other side of the equation is your attention. What are you thinking, feeling, and saying to yourself all day? That's what your attention is on. So what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and what you're saying, either self-talk or to others, right? That's your attention, your focus of attention. And then the R stands for repetition. Now, what you are repeatedly thinking, feeling, saying, and doing. All this put together guarantees your outcome. Now, every one of us obviously will be doing this, but we'll be doing it the wrong way. That's where a lot of people are failures, right? The outcome they get right now, or that you might have right now, could be failure. But why or is your outcome failure right now? Is because your spiritual, subconscious, and conscious identity identify actually as a person who is a failure. And also your attention, what you are thinking, feeling, and saying to yourself is that you're a failure. And your repetitive actions, what you are doing, also leads to failure. So then how do you switch that around? You need to then have a new identity that actually leads to the outcome that you desire to have. After the identity, then also is okay, what exactly, who do I need to become in order for me to experience this outcome? That now leads to, okay, how do I think now? How do I feel now? What do I say now? Your affirmations. What do I say to myself? Right? And also, what do I do? What am I doing? If you combine all of this together, you guarantee to have the outcome that you have in mind. But the very first time to even establish what outcome do you want? What goals are you setting for yourself to achieve or to experience? And then get to the nitty-gritty of, okay, what identity? What do I see myself as? Right? If I see myself as, for example, a sinner, a wrongdoer, guess what? I can never perform miracles like Jesus did, right? If I see myself as a dumb person, then I can ever do anything that is brilliant. If I see myself as a black person, for example, like, oh, I'm black. Okay, what do black people do? The experience of black people is what I'm going to get. So I have to switch my own identity, right? Who I identify as spiritually, subconsciously, and consciously. And also with that, what's my focus attention, what I'm thinking, feeling, saying every single moment, which requires self-awareness. And also lastly, what I'm thinking, feeling, saying, and doing. Repetition. That is how we get our outcome.
I know that this section of the podcast is going to get replayed tens of thousands of times. Just this one section here, we're at about the 40-minute mark. We'll get the time sections on YouTube. We'll break it down. We'll break out this as a separate video. But you're striking me right now because I didn't notice it in San Diego, but I see a little bit of the gray coming out. The wisdom hair. You can't see it on Spotify, but I'm gonna call you the Black Einstein, and this is your formula. This is Sam's formula at betteroutcome.com. So Sam, this formula, I know you go a little deeper into the formula in the book, so we'll make sure and have the link. Is there a link on your website right now for the book?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
And
very
also at succeedinginbusiness.com as well.
Yeah, you can get it, but I highly encourage you to go to a betteroutcome.com because you have something that's evolved off of this formula. You're coming out with a program, a course
Yes.
where people can take. Can you give us any insights on for the listeners how long it's going to be? Is it going to be like 5 1-hour sessions? Is it an ongoing membership type course? Do you have thoughts on that yet?
Well, it's been built, and it's going to be on different aspects, obviously. But it's going to be in bite size, so people are not overwhelmed, like the students are not overwhelmed. So it will be in like each course will be about 10 to 12 videos, but not, and each video will not be more than 30 minutes. And then it will come also with evaluation. So you need to evaluate yourself where you are now and also where do you want to go. There's no tests, all right, or
But
exams.
I believe on completion of the course, you're going to have some type of certificate that they're going to receive.
Yes, you're gonna get actually a placard after the you complete. Obviously, you have to complete the entire training. You're gonna get a plaque that actually has a picture of me and Brian Tracy, and also the certificate of completion, and then the signed copy of this equation of life. You're gonna get all
Wow.
that as part of the completion of the course. And that is just to say
And
thank
I
you for
think I
taking
think
the
you
time.
mentioned everybody that signs up for a complimentary. Are you giving away complimentary e-copies of your book
Yes, and if
with
you sign up for
everybody
any
that
of
signs up for the course, right?
yes, yes. If you
So
sign up for the
international
course, then you
rules,
get
international rules. You got to put your name, email, phone number so Sam can reach out, get you enrolled in the course because, just it was so powerful watching you that 3 minutes that you gave us in San Diego. You took your time to step aside and show me the formula, and you actually kept a copy of that. I took a picture of that, and I have the video. So I'm going to share that video as well. It'll be in the link in the comments, and it'll have all of Sam's links, right? His link for the e-copy, a link for the course, and your website. What is the best way for listeners to reach out, Sam, if they're interested in chatting or getting you on their podcast? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interest now. What's the best way to reach out?
well, the best way actually is to go to my website on the contact us page. You are going to have the email, and also in order to for us to for you to contact me, and also you're going to have my Calendly link there for you to also schedule an appointment.
I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah.
Betteroutcome.com/contact hyphen us. So those that
Yes.
are listening can have it, but I highly encourage you to go to the YouTube video and see Sam's smiling face and the formula, which is displayed proudly over his head. The only thing missing is that Einstein hair, but you're working on it. You're working on it.
Hey, I actually have it. I bought it on Amazon, and it's gonna get here by this week. So I'm gonna have the Einstein here and mustache.
Oh my gosh, that'll be a fun one. That will really stand out for images on the thumbnails on YouTube and Instagram for all the videos. That will be great. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So Sam, any books other than of course your own? We always ask our listeners if you have a book other than the that version of the Bible that you read. Any books that stand out in your mind, something you can share with the listeners as a great read, inspiration, or motivation?
Yeah, so one of the books that I know is possibly getting extinct now that I would say it actually helped me. I've been reading it for years, and it's called The I Am Discourses. It's about like 33 discourses, all 33 chapters. It's a lengthy, voluminous book, but that book helped me with understanding my identity spiritually, apart from the experience that I told you about me having that in Afghanistan, because this is like the fundamental. I mean, this is the foundation, your identity. So the I Am discourses, I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. And that book honestly changed my life, apart from the Bible. So that is one book that I would suggest that everyone, you can go and get it. And it's hard to read, I'm gonna tell you, because it's gonna confound your mind. You're gonna have what neuroscientists call cognitive dissonance. All right, when you are reading that, like, your brain is going to be telling you, no, that cannot be true. But I bet you it is true. It's just that what you have identified with within your brain that is rejecting the information that is coming in.
Yeah, and I know you talk about that in your book here, Cracking the Business Mastery Code. Sam, been an absolute pleasure. And any final words before we sign off before our next episode?
Hey, thank you so much, Robert Stone, for having me on your podcast, Mr. Taxes Canada. And I just want to say, hey, if you are in Canada, you are into finance, taxes, or anything else to do with investment, Mr. Taxes ca is the website you need to go to. He does have a franchise for people who might be interested in actually starting their own financial organization and business. Please reach out to him through his website, mrtaxes.ca, and it has been a blast being with you here. Really love meeting you in San Diego at the launch of the book, and looking forward to doing more businesses together in the future. We'll be coming to Canada and host an event there. Actually, it's part of the plans that we have in the works as well. And hey, go to abetteroutcome.com in order to reach out to me and my team to see how we can help you either personally or with your team or your organization, be it for profit or not for profit or churches. We are here to serve everyone. Again, thank you, Mr. Robert Stone, for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, sir.
And that's a wrap. They will edit that
Awesome.
out, man. I like the way you have those stories. I believe that you should put those stories into a 1 hour, what do they call it, keynote presentation.
Okay.
I was looking, Alex from Australia, who we met down there, invited myself and Michelle to
Yeah.
Australia for what is it, the International Professional Speakers Association conference.
Okay.
And I was looking at the conference website and it says, oh, would you like to be a member? Because I've gone through the Toastmasters program 3 times. I get the 3 plaques up on the wall there.
Yeah.
Three. But, that's just showing up and doing your homework, et cetera. It doesn't mean you're a world-class speaker, but the Professional Speakers Association brings you to that next level. But I was looking at it, to become a member, you either had to have earned $50,000 in the last year
Okay.
from speaking, or 25 $1,000 presentations. Now, your speaking or your presentations can be revenue. For example, if you spoke at a church event about the formula,
Yeah.
and your course was, let's say, $500, and you sold 2 courses, that's equivalent of earning $1,000. You don't have to be paid for the speaking. You can earn product sales or course sales on your
Yeah.
speaking engagements. So that's something you might want to look at, is putting together a 1 hour keynote, pitching it to different organizations. If you're a member of the church, going to the different churches in the same denomination within your state or territory. But
Yeah.
I'll send you info on that. That's something I'm going to aspire to. I challenge Sam to become a member, right?
Yeah.
You have to qualify,
Okay.
and also to speak on the stage at the symposium in Australia in 2026.
Nice. We'll work on that for sure.
But it's, for me, I have to have challenges like that or I can't achieve it.
Hey, it's a new outcome that I'm working towards, right?
Yeah, but it's a way to get your message out, whether you join the Speakers Association. But for me, I have to put the challenges. Like Brian Tracy, one of his first one of his oldest videos online. It's actually the video on his homepage on the website, briantracy.com. He talks about crossing the Sahara Desert. And they
Mm.
crossed it one oil barrel at a time because you can see the oil barrels uh,
Hmm.
a couple kilometers or a couple miles ahead, and you just make it to the next oil barrel, then you watch for the next one and you head towards the next one. If you lose the next oil barrel, you're lost in the desert and you die. So he has a saying, success is reached one oil barrel at a time. And for me, it's one speech at a time. When I would, I've lost 34 pounds now officially. This morning, I'm down 34 pounds. I cut
Wow.
about five more since San Diego. It keeps, but now it's slowing down. But the way I lost weight originally when I was boxing was one weight class at a time. Because I
Ah,
wanted to get down to welterweight. I thought those guys were so cool and so fast and so slick, but for my size, I should have been a welterweight, but I was over 200 pounds. So when I started boxing, I got down to 199, then 178, then 165, then 156, then 145. It was
wow.
over 55 pounds I dropped, five weight classes
Wow.
to make it to welterweight, and now I'm back up, but losing it again. But it's one, it's for me, that's the way I achieve things. One step. How do you eat an elephant? One bite. The
That's
same
right.
analogy.
Yeah.
But I
That,
like the fact you're getting the course out there. Maybe have pre-sign ups on the course. Pre-sign up.
yeah,
If you
definitely.
pre-sign up and pay a deposit now, get a complimentary e-copy. Pay
Yeah.
$100 now, and then when the course launches, you pay the next, and the deposit is non-refundable. You can take the course, or you can pass it to someone else.
Yeah.
And the course is guaranteed to give you results.
Definitely, for sure. Change your life, really. Change because it changed mine.
How many courses you got to sell in 1 year? Make
Uh
your million?
I think the calculation was
Three or
uh
four a day?
yeah, no, it was six a day. I think it was
Hey,
six.
did we pull out the calculator, my friend?
Yeah, I think it was six a day at 4.99.
No, it's 1 million divided by 500. 2,000 divided by 365. Yeah, it's six a day. And then you can take Christmas season off. You do six a day and you'll reach it by middle of December.
Yep,
I believe affiliate program would work for you. People who are doing other courses that can do this as an upsell, you give them 20% or 30%, and just figure out your numbers.
definitely. Yes, sir.
What software are you using for your course? Or
I think I'm gravitating towards what is it, ClickFunnels.
I'm going to give you a suggestion.
Okay.
James, who the Australian crew, the boys
Yeah,
from the Thunder from Down Under, from
yeah,
Brian's group,
yeah.
I've been working with them on some things. They use a software, the same one we're using is called Go High Level.
Oh, go at level. Okay.
Yeah, the ladies that do all of our stuff, the one who's going to be editing this. So say shout out to Grace. Hi Grace, and Joyce, who's going to be posting the our podcast and everything. They do
Yeah.
all the work in the back end. They're amazing, but they're experts in Go High Level, and we're using it on our end.
Okay.
Our tax course was built on Go High Level, but
Okay.
our tax course is only text. It's only delivered in PDF. So you read it, then you do the questions, and you read it. There's no video, but you can add video in. And
Yeah.
Go High Level is like $100 a month, and you can build an affiliate program, a marketing program, everything within Go High Level.
Okay. Awesome. I will definitely look into that. But what's the difference between that and ClickFunnels, though?
They're both complex to learn.
Okay.
ClickFunnels, you need outside software to do some different things.
Okay.
Whereas Go High Level, it's all built in.
Okay.
ClickFunnels has a big public presence, so that are they the best? I don't think they are, but they have a lot of hype online. Do
Yeah.
ClickFunnels, but the thing is, if ClickFunnels was on your website, nobody sees it as ClickFunnels. Like
Yeah.
Go High Level ClickFunnels is the same view from outside, except their marketing machine is bigger to sell ClickFunnels. But
Mhm.
once you create your course, now you're on your own. I believe Go High Level has more power once you create the course. It has marketing, affiliate. You can integrate it with all your social media. So you create, for example, that last little bit you were talking about the formula. You
Yeah.
could cut that out into a 2-minute video,
Yeah.
post it on all your social media channels with one click. because you integrate Go High Level with all your social media channels. And now
Okay.
you post one video and it goes out to all your social media channels, and you can automate that. You can do 30 videos and have it go out for the whole month. Next month, have it go out again. One, couple hours, one setup, and you have it automatically post. I'll show
Nice.
you the back end of ours. We can get on another call. I do
Okay.
have to get on another call here now, but
Okay.
I'll get you a copy of the raw video here.
Say again.
I'll get you a copy of the raw video, like the video we took today,
Okay.
so you can cut out your own pieces, and then they will do the podcast, but then they do about 10 reels from each podcast.
Oh, nice.
They'll listen. And for example, the formula, I'm going to specifically ask her when he starts talking about the formula, cut that out, do a nice intro, put the formula on a nice image, and then maybe a picture of Einstein, facing you with each of your formulas on top, and those things. I'm going to show you something here.
Okay. Oh,
I'm
nice
going to
one.
take a picture of that guy. I'm going to
Yeah.
put on a nice background, take a picture of that, but you can get
Yeah.
pictures online. But I'm going to get her to put a couple Einstein images in the video.
Okay.
Hey, if you thought Einstein's formula was great, wait till you hear Sam's.
The Black Einstein.
That's a good one, but you gotta play that card, right?
Yeah, why
You know,
not?
for the social media stuff, get them interested in listening to the 2 minute clip. When they
Hmm.
hear about the formula, it's not going to resonate with everybody, but a lot of people are spiritual.
Yeah,
A lot of people are going to want to take your course. Like, I'm estimating 20 to 30% will be interested. All you
yeah,
need is 10%, and you're going to do your 6 to 10 sales a day.
yeah,
And then you just focus on delivering that one course, develop it once so you don't have to do it over and over. And then
yeah,
your keynote presentation, you charge minimum 10 grand.
yeah,
I was looking at the Professional Speakers Association. A lot of them don't even have half decent messages or anything. They just love hearing themselves speak, and they'll talk about anything.
yeah,
Whereas you have you're talking about your formula, and they're all charging between 7 and 15 grand US. Some of
wow.
them 50 grand. Some of the professional athletes that are on there.
Hmm.
But I think if you pitch yourself as the Einstein of life,
The Life Einstein.
it'll be fun.
The outcome Einstein.
Yeah, Einstein had the Einstein outcome. So
Yeah.
let's jump on another call. I'll show you the back end of Go High Level and show you what it can do, how we're
Okay.
using it, and then you might have some ideas. I'm not saying go with that or go with ClickFunnels, or there's Learnly, there's Thinkific, there's a whole bunch, but I believe Go High Level is the one that can do everything to run your business, to run the course, and do that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so
Okay.
much for the opportunity, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get it posted. I'll let you know soon, and then we set up a time to chat.
All right, sure. I look forward to it.
See you,
Thank you,
Sam.
sir. Yes, sir.
Sam the man.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, man?
Good. So I got it recording, but what's going to happen when we're ready to roll? I'll just say, hey, we're going to roll. Well, I'll just have a quick chat.
Okay.
What's the best website for your contact, Sam?
A betteroutcome.com. And I'm having it rebuilt actually as we speak.
No
But
worries. I mean, it looks good. It's just I want to make sure we have the right one because we're going to put everything in the links, right?
yeah,
Yeah, this is great. I mean,
uh,
there's always depending who you talk to, there's a million different things you can do with your website. Some
yeah,
people just have one web page with no links, just a landing page, so you have to opt into something.
yeah.
Some have a questionnaire, I don't think there's any perfect website, even for your own business. Like for us, for accounting, and finance, insurance, investments, which one do we put as the front facing, right? We have one website, but which one do we put on the front? A
I,
picture of me or a picture of one of the younger team members that's better looking, or you know,
the
here's something. I'm going to share the screen right now, but just one thing. Here's small examples of things that I look at, right? You know,
Yeah.
this page is great, amazing photo, but you're facing away from the page instead of facing this way into the page.
Ah,
You know, you're facing this way. They did that with my book cover too. It's on our landing page for the book, and it's the opposite way. So I have them fixing it. Just little things.
okay.
But you know what you put on the homepage, everything you have to try everything yourself and see what works.
Makes sense.
What's your main hustle now?
I'm just building from the ground up. And so there are two things that I'm working on, and should be hitting the market by January. One is a grassroots here in Colorado Springs, which is hosting like a weekend live event, um, which is seminar style training all day. I took one of the ideas you gave me, which is like selling like 497 or 499. And I thought like, okay, I can start doing that at the grassroots here. So that is one.
That
And
will build your client base, all your rave reviews and build up that. And then from there, I've seen a lot of coaches do it here. There's a one local guy, Colin Sprake with Make Your Mark Success. He had
yeah.
great success up until COVID, but I don't think he pivoted properly for COVID. But he was filling rooms with 1,500, 2,000 people.
Oh,
But he
wow.
started with a basic course and then he had to upsell on the course. And then from the thousands of people that took the course, he started doing live events, smaller ones, and he built it up where he had other people on his stage selling their gift, or sorry, not their gift, their course or their program, and he would just take a small piece, but he was filling rooms with 2,000 people. You have to have your product you're going to sell yourself off the back end, which is your course
Yeah.
and the book, of course, which I see up on the screen there. Do you have
Yeah.
a physical copy with you of the book?
Yeah, I do. I
Because
do.
when we roll here, once we roll, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you to hold it up, right?
Yeah, I do have it here.
And hold it from the middle so you don't block off the names on yeah, and don't block off your beautiful picture, or Brian's. Brian won't be happy. Uh,
And also definitely have to like take picture of it and post it on social media, you know.
Use it for people. Hey, people, once you get your course launched, you know how they say put your plan out there to the world.
Yeah,
Tell people you have your course coming in January. Now you have no choice but to launch it.
yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect to launch, I don't think, but offer a complimentary e-copy for everyone who signs up for the course.
Okay.
That's a hook, and that's a big hook.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're going to want to crack the business mastery code, and how better to do it than to download a copy of the book.
Yeah. And also like the other thing that I'm working on is so I saw this on LinkedIn the other day. That's probably maybe be about 2 weeks now, of a medical doctor who is a black guy in the US. He's successful with his, obviously, his career as a medical doctor. And he posted information, but he's black. He's African American. So he posted information about the fact that he had a conversation with his son about racism in the US, and that when he was telling the story to his kid, that he was crying, weeping about systemic racism. And I was just like, what a hogwash, you know? I wanted to post to like, dude. I know you are successful with your career, but you are so dumb. Like you have no intelligence about how racism works. But I'm like, you know what? I think I'm better off actually creating a course specifically for Black people and sell it for like $27. Because a lot of people really do not know how the mind works. So they believe that majority, 99% of human being believes is, oh, you are the cause of my problem. You are the one that is causing me to have
Oh, it's
this.
pointing outside
Oh,
instead
exactly,
of pointing.
exactly.
That's
So
a nice introductory course.
yeah, I know. So creating a course actually on that specifically for Black people to actually start to understand the theory of human development. Like when you were conceived in the womb, you were not black. You were not white. Actually, the pigment of the skin doesn't start developing until like weeks after. The heartbeat starts at 22 days after conception. The brain start actually developing 4 weeks after conception. And after that is when actually the skin. So when did you become black, actually? From when you were conceived or when your skin pigmentation actually start forming, which is weeks after you've been conceived.
But
So,
is it predetermined though in the genes?
yes, it is, but it's not shown. It doesn't show. You don't know. At the point of conception, you
It's
can't
like
tell.
me. It's like me. I don't get dark unless I go in the sun. You
Yeah,
know,
at conception, you can tell if a baby that is conceived is black or white or brown. You can't tell if he's a male or female. None of that exists at conception. So at which point do you start identify yourself as this, as a male, as a female, as black or white? Like really, that's just the color of your skin. That's not who you are. So, anyways, that is like reshaping the minds of black people to really
shape the
understand.
mindset. You know, the
Yeah.
best revenge is success. It doesn't matter if you're a poor white kid, poor Asian kid, poor Jamaican American kid, poor black kid, poor African American. I think everyone has the same opportunity. You can break free. You can, all you have to do is ask. Go out and ask someone for help. All you
Well,
need to,
actually start by identifying yourself correctly, mentally. And that's the whole point of this equation, anyways, is
I
who
like it.
are you? Who are you? Identify yourself
Awesome
correctly.
segue. So they're going to edit some of this stuff out and then you ready to roll?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.